Waiting for some people to get in the room. So we're just on twice tonight. Short and brief. Dope artist from BX. Met Elliot Too Lit. We got we got to meet Chino at the barber shop. Anybody from BX Soundville, you know the OG, the AKA Richard Pryor, they call him. He was in a little bit in the video. I love doing it when they do it in different settings and showing love to their people. People get on and not necessarily like in the best positions in the house or I love it when people come on my platform and take it serious and have a nice setting for everybody to look at. Much more professional. So I really appreciate that. Even from home, it's okay as long as you got a good spot. You're lighted your face, and some people can't do that because of families, so they end up going in their car, and sometimes the lighting ain't right. We've had that, but we still get the content out. We're here to answer questions, and we're definitely all about the music and the platform. I'm also talking about my podcast that I do on Wednesdays. I'm trying to build a fan base or a following for the lives of a man that's been abused and the signs of it and and what people go through. It's like it's a hidden thing because it's weak for men to talk about being weak. So I had some nice compliments tonight. Talking about I was the hottest thing out in the BX right now, having a big platform for people to play their music. He said it remind me of K Slay. He said I'm the new K Slay. That was a compliment to me. So being in my position, people that don't know who K Slay is, look him up. He's an icon in this hip hop industry, and in his own right. So I wanted to just start talking about the life of being in where we come up and then getting into this business, and then also the fact that if you don't have a platform to go to, it's nearly impossible to get heard. Every once in a while, you get on a platform that's will do something for you, and that's what my platform's here. I can't help everybody, maybe a handful of people in life, but if you put the work ethic in, like I keep talking about, I'll put you on our platform. In a couple weeks, we'll probably get some chuckles, but also on some serious notes. Probably Cuban Lincoln and I are going to be going on live, on our camera in the brick room, probably in about 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that, which I think is going to be dope. And while we're waiting for people to come in, let's see who we got on there. Gamer Boy 54, what up, baby? Nice to have you this time in the morning. Where you from, anyways, Gamer Boy? So, probably gonna stay away from putting music on tonight. A lot to talk about. Put my shades on, no, so I don't show my age as much. Oh, Louisiana, that's what's up. My ex, girlfriend, she's God rest her soul. She passed away. She was a model. She was from Kennan, but she also worked in the French Quarters a lot as a dancer, and she worked in that haunted house. You familiar with that town? So I shout out to Louisiana. So what time is it in Louisiana right now? Yeah, okay. So she had passed away sadly. Her name is Erin Descant, and it's a sticker, man. So, all right, we got the haters in here again, but we can go ahead with the name calling. But if that's what does it for you, brother, appreciate. Anyways, what was 122? But anyways, I started that podcast about abused men, and it's a real thing. Anybody going through that, I keep talking about it. It's just what I'm going through right now, and kind of lost myself in that time period. To be honest with you, it's like really hard. Like a woman could really destroy you, if you let them, and I allowed it. And some days I just can't get over it. When I get on this platform, it makes my day. It's like I'm able to socialize and talk about life in general. But with that being said, welcome. And the projects we got coming up, we got like a number one hit that at some point we'll let people hear. You'll be able, the members will be able to get it here at first, the Cuban Link single, and we gotta make a music video. I'm planning on doing like from like May to June, at least starting in June, about 6 or 7 music videos, and we're gonna be releasing those. Cuban Link will be back on this platform in a couple weeks. I had just been going through a lot. I ended up in the hospital with congestive heart failure. Because of my condition. I'm being heavy, and I got a bad leg, so the water retains in my leg and then moves all throughout my body. So I had to watch that, go on a diet, and quit pretty much drinking for the most part. So all things that are healthy for me. If I'm working on quitting smoking at some point. Anybody have any questions? Anyways, what up with that war in Iran? It's like I'm sitting here. Um, it's like, are we at the end of the world right now? What's going on? And face-to-face negotiation continues between the United States and Iran, and U.S. destroys Hamas. Iran talks collapse. Siege in Hezbollah, and still, there was rockets still going off to Israel. Like that's crazy. But this definitely like seems like it's getting to the end here, man. It's like it's scary. Better start praying and getting on your knees and getting to church. That's what I'm doing. Start your praying because our world is definitely it seems to me like it's definitely in danger right now. Our president's, I don't know what's going on, but a lot of people are saying bad things. I got to believe that Trump knows what he's doing. So we gotta pay attention to these things. Let me just give me a second here. I'm gonna put some of this news on. All right. See if we can get this. Oh wait, it's on. All right. All right. Let's see here. Right. Alright, it says it's connected. Let's see what's going on. Let's click on some of this stuff here. It says 6 hours ago. 9 hours ago. Let's listen to this a little bit. I turn this news around here. Give you guys something to watch for a second.
We move now to the Middle East, where historic face-to-face negotiations continued after midnight between the United States and Iran in Pakistan. This comes just days after a fragile 2-week ceasefire was announced. The U.S. delegation, led by Vice President J.D. Vance, and an Iranian delegation led by Iran's new parliament speaker. Meanwhile, the U.S. military says 2 destroyers transited the Iran-gripped Strait of Hormuz ahead of mine-clearing work. That's a first since the war began. The war has caused thousands of deaths in the Middle East and disrupted the global economy, particularly through Iran's closure of the straits. In his strongest words yet, Pope Leo today denouncing the, quote, delusion of omnipotence that is fueling the U.S.-Israel war in Iran and demanding political leaders to stop and negotiate peace. Leo made the comments during an evening prayer service in St. Peter's Basilica. The Pope also said, quote, enough of the idolatry of self and money and enough of the display of power, enough of war, end quote.
You got this one right here. Let's see how long it's. It says it's live. Let me see here.
To collapse, and they are sending the sea monster to the Middle East. In the IDF, they are preparing for the collapse of the negotiations with Iran and the renewal of strikes against the Revolutionary Guards in the Islamic Republic. Several American naval ships crossed the Strait of Hormuz without coordination with Iran. CENTCOM announced the warships passed through Hormuz as part of the mission to clear the mines. What is preventing the opening of the Strait of Hormuz now? It turns out that Iran has not opened the Strait of Hormuz because it cannot find and destroy the mines that it planted there. And against the backdrop of the blockage of the Strait of Hormuz, U.S. President Donald Trump said that a huge number of oil tankers, completely empty, some of the largest in the world, are now heading to the United States to load up with oil and gas for every place in the world. And at the same time, 2 American destroyers passed through Hormuz today without Iranian approval for the first time since this war began. Vance, the president, the vice president, warned that while in Iran they are sending contradictory messages about Lebanon, it's not in the picture. And meanwhile, in the war against Hezbollah, the terrorist organization, a proxy of Iran in Lebanon, after the IDF neutralized Hezbollah terrorists in Beirut, dozens of and up to hundreds of Hezbollah terrorists are surrounded in the Shiite village of Binjbel. Will there be peace in the Middle East? Right now, direct negotiations between Israel and Lebanon are set for this week in Washington, and the ambassadors of Israel and Lebanon will speak, and in Beirut, they will ask Israel for a ceasefire as a goodwill gesture. I'm Yair Pinto, with me is Mati Shoshani, and we are boots on the ground that bring you all the truth about what's happening in Israel, and also all the truth about what's happening in our neighborhood, the Middle East. And this is the opening of day 43 of the war, Roaring Lion, or by its American name, Epic Fury. The ceasefire between the United States and Israel and Iran did not end this war, but it changed its nature. The ambiguity around the agreement and the arenas like Lebanon is increasing the risk of renewed escalation. Today, The decisive talks began in Pakistan. It is now or never, determined Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Hours before the opening of the talks in Islamabad, Pakistan, which was flooded with security. The streets were emptied. Vice President J.D. Vance will lead the American delegation alongside Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and the president's special envoy, Steve Witkoff.
You don't know what an AI work management platform is? Yikes. Here's 3 new AI-powered changes to the Monday platform in 2026 and what they actually mean. We all know we need to use AI, but we're still figuring out how. Well, Monday.com figured it out. Number 1, Monday Sidekick. It's like your own business consultant, but not like the one you pay hourly and that gives you generic advice. It has read every document, knows every project, budgets, timelines, everything. It answers any question about your business with infinite knowledge. Number 2, Monday Vibe. It's like having your own implementer 24/7 for free. It builds smart workflows with a single prompt. It makes adoption and onboarding way easier and faster speed to value. It will even build a whole new platform for you, whatever you need. Number 3, AI-powered everything. Your budget column can extract quotes from a PDF. Your copy writes itself. Translating to different languages, done instantly. Everything just got faster than ever. Monday.com is the single best AI work management platform out there today. It's a completely new experience.
Vance, heading the Iranian delegation, is Parliament Speaker Muhammad Bakr Ghalibaf, and joining him is Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, and also taking part in the talks will be the Secretary of the Defense Council, the Governor of Iran's central bank, and several members of the Iranian parliament. The talks between the United States and Iran are opening in Pakistan with many gaps between the two sides. And in the background, we are seeing Trump's threats. And in addition to the reinforcement of American military forces and provocative messages from Iran just before the negotiations, a new American demand, and also an attempt to bring about direct talks between the sides. And why is the center of the talks revolving around Iran's lost $100 billion? We will soon bring you the new details about the distress inside the streets of Tehran. The Iranian demand that stands at the heart of the negotiations with the United States is the frozen assets, and their value is enormous. Where are they located? And why are the Revolutionary Guards so pressured about them? Behind the scenes, the United States continues to reinforce forces and to deploy them in the Middle East in preparation for the possibility of renewed fighting alongside the talks in Pakistan, amongst other things, fighter jets, Marines, and forces from the 82nd Airborne Division that have been moved into this region, together with additional forces on top of the military presence that is already in the sea. So we will soon bring you exactly what's happening in these very moments around the negotiating table and where the wind is blowing. But let us begin with the last 24 hours of the IDF in this war against Hezbollah. Because at the end of an initial intelligence assessment by the military intelligence, it can be determined that the IDF eliminated more than 180 Hezbollah terrorists in the Eternal Darkness operation, in which multiple targets in Lebanon were struck. This was stated by the IDF spokesperson, who added that during the operation,
this is crazy.
about 100 targets were.
That's me. I mean, we definitely have some issues with in this war. Like, there's a lot of questions I think we all have. But now he's talking about bringing active fuels, and maybe our gas prices will be lower. I don't know. So, with that being said, I'm gonna play another video. But I don't see very many people in here. I'll just keep playing videos. You guys can watch this in the morning, or hopefully we get some people on. I had like 100 people on, like right in the beginning. Then it went away. Then it went away right away because it's probably like, what is this guy doing this time of morning? Nothing interesting, but talking politics. This says Iran or threat pay, or we seize U.S. assets. That's crazy. So, 3 hours ago, U.S.-Iran war through peace. How long is this? Is not that long. CNN. Worse than we think. Trump's Iran war failure causing massive economic disruption across the globe. I don't believe that, but that's what they're saying. 1 hour ago, let's watch that. There's actually some footage on Dubai's reputation as a safe haven. War with Iran, full episode, April 9th, huh? That was like 2 days ago. Iran meet for high-level talks. 7 hours ago, let's see. That's only 2 minutes. Let's see there. You guys ever watch that MC Abdul? Like, he's like a rapper, and he's always walking through the blown-up buildings, and he's a dope young kid as a rapper. Now he's like kind of grown. And I'll be listening to his music sometimes. I think it's pretty dope. You know, you want to talk about real street life? That's some crazy life right there. I'm gonna put on let's see what this is. I love the highlights of Trump.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of reports. They've been meeting for many hours, as you probably have noticed. We'll see what happens. Look, regardless, we win. Regardless what happens, we win. We've totally defeated that country. And so let's see what happens. Maybe they make a deal, maybe they don't. From the standpoint of America, we win. One of the things that's happening is that boats are sailing up and heading out to our country. Big, beautiful tankers, and we're loading them up with oil and gas and everything else. And it's a pretty beautiful thing to see. We're going to see what happens. We're in very deep negotiations with Iran. We win regardless. We've defeated them militarily. They've dropped a couple of water mines. You call them water mines in the boat. We've defeated all of their water boats too. Their Navy has gone 158 ships. They have 28 water droppers, mine droppers they call them. All of them are sunk. They probably have a couple of mines in the water. We have mine sweepers out there. We're sweeping the strait. In addition to that, we're negotiating. Whether we make a deal or not makes no difference to me. And the reason is because we've won. Whether you listen to the fake news or not, you know, it's amazing. Their credibility is down to 13%. The media credibility down to 13%. Think of it. We defeated their Navy. We defeated their Air Force. We defeated their anti-aircraft. We defeated their radar. We defeated their leaders. Their leaders are all dead. And now all we do is we'll open up the strait even though we don't use it, because we have a lot of other countries in the world that do use it that are either afraid or weak or cheap. I don't know what it is, but we were not helped by NATO, that I can tell you. minesweepers and all of their, they call them mine droppers. Can you imagine? A country has 28 mine droppers. You think that's nice? With all of that being said, they're all defeated, by the way. They're all at the bottom of the sea. Now, with all of that, they have no navy. They have no radar. They have no air force. Their leaders are all dead. Khomeini is gone. For many years he ruled. He's gone. With all of that, let's see what happens. But from my standpoint, I don't care. Thank you. Well, if China does that, China could have big problems.
Well, when Trump does that, he just walks away. I don't know what's going on in this world, but sure to hell, there definitely is fake news. We all know that. Even if you're on the other end and you lie to yourself, because what the truth. If you watch the facts, then you watch, the truth. It's been proven over and over again. I was always a skeptic on everything, but not these days. But that was I don't know if you guys get to hear it because it was pretty, the helicopter was going, but that was pretty informative. What's going on? They're negotiating, and it's definitely important to know this stuff. I don't follow it enough. I mean, we should follow it. 15 hours ago, there was, what's chasing is this? Okay, let's listen to this for a few minutes. Then, we'll get off of here. Maybe we'll play, a song. I wasn't going to play music, but, be nice to have, all right, here comes. There you go.
Now, I also wanted to share this here with you. President Trump just shared this to Truth Social just moments ago, as he's announcing that the U.S. is starting the process of clearing out the Strait of Hormuz. If you are just tuning in here with us, we shared this before the break. I want to just reiterate what we have learned here from the president. He announced today, quote, that we're now starting the process of clearing out the Strait of Hormuz as a favor to countries all around the world, including China, Japan, South Korea, France, Germany, and many others. Incredibly, they don't have the courage or will to do this work themselves. Very interestingly, however, empty oil carrying ships from many nations are all heading to the United States to load up with oil. This announcement comes as negotiations between the U.S. and Iran are currently unfolding there in Pakistan, as I just shared with you. But President Trump went on to say the fake news media has lost total credibility, not that they had any to begin with, because of their massive Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. They love saying that Iran is winning when, in fact, everyone knows that they are losing and losing big. The president goes on to say their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft apparatus is non-existent. Radar is dead, their missile and drone factories have been largely obliterated, along with the missiles and drones themselves, and most importantly, their longtime members are no longer with us. Praise be to Allah. The only thing they have going is the threat that a ship may bunk into one of their sea mines, which, by the way, all 28 of their mine dropper boats are also lying at the bottom of the sea. Now, President Trump said today, as you just read in that post, that massive numbers of empty oil tankers are heading to the United States. This coming a day after Fox News Digital reported that oil traffic through the Strait of Hormuz remains effectively halted. A backlog of roughly 3,200 vessels, among them 800 tankers and cargo ships, built up west of the strait as of just yesterday, with ships idling as operators wait for clarity on whether it is safe to pass. So we are just learning that here from President Trump. I did want to bring that post to you here from Truth Social. Once again, we're still monitoring all of these talks here that are going on today in Pakistan. And on your screen is just a graphic we have created here for you. As I've been saying, the vice president is leading these talks, but he's also joined by Steve Witkoff, who is the special envoy to the Middle East, as well as Jared Kushner, who is the special envoy for peace. We heard from President Trump just yesterday. Very briefly, he spoke to reporters about what he said to the vice president before he left for these talks. Let's listen in. What did you tell JD Vance before he left, sir?
Well, I wish him luck. He's got a big thing. I will find out what's going on. They're militarily defeated, and now we're going to open up the Gulf with or without him. But that'll be open. We're going to be, or the Strait as they call it, and I think it's going to go pretty quickly. And if it doesn't, we'll be able to finish it off one way or the other. It's going well. The Navy's gone, the Air Force is gone, all anti-aircraft is gone, the leaders are gone, the whole place is gone. So we'll see how it turns out. So it's JD and Steve and Jared. They have a good team, and they meet tomorrow. We'll see how it all works out.
You're not going to let them hold the Strait, are you? It's international.
No, we're not going to let that. It's international water. If they're doing that, nobody knows if they're doing that, but if they're doing that, we're not going to let that happen.
What would a good deal look like for you?
No nuclear weapon, number one. You know, I think it's already been regime change, but we never had that as a criteria. No nuclear weapon. That's 99% of it.
Strait of Hormuz as well?
Yeah, but that'll open up automatically. Yeah, the answer is yes, but the Strait will open up if we just.
So, with that being said, I mean, I guess this is good news. You know, if everybody believes that, I'm not really sure. I believe it, but I do believe it. You know, the military is defeated. You know, I'm just wondering what they're doing with all that fuel, with our gas prices being as high as they are. I mean, I'm in upstate New York by Utica, and we're paying $4.19 a gallon. I don't know anybody else on here. What are you paying? You know, can't be any better really, and that's it. You know, it's like you can't even get in your car. Like you fill up your gas tank. You know, if you have an 18-gallon gas tank, now it's well over $100 again to fill up your gas tank. You know, a few years back during COVID time, I mean, I remember I was paying in my truck. I had my work truck. I was paying nearly 120 to fill it up. I mean, it's back to that again. I'm sure. I'm hoping with him getting all the fuel, you know, freeing up all the fuel, that we're gonna be able to get cheaper gas prices. He said they're gonna be lower. Let's see what happens. Sends a warning to China. Trump sends a warning to China. If it helps. If it helps. That was 4 hours ago. But anyways, I was gonna play you know, a little bit of music to end this out. I'm gonna play something that's, you know, we have copywritten and see what's over here. Hip hop news uncensored, uploaded. Offset is in a serious danger. Offset, You know, we'll talk about that hip hop news. We'll get into that tomorrow. I've been following a lot of it. There's a lot to talk about. And let me see what we got here for what I want to play for music that we have up here. Always love to play the dirty section, but I got let's see here. I always like playing Back to the Wall, dope track, and stay tuned. I know there's not many people on here, if any people on here at all. Well, you can watch this later. So I'm gonna put this on right now. You know, like I said, check out our other podcasts. The one that you can see from the brick room that you can tell I use the cameras. In the beginning of it, turned out like, you know, it's frustrating. You know, the mic wasn't working right. The sound wasn't working right. Had to get the headphones on, which normally we don't have to get the headphones on, but we got it to work in the end. The echo. Now, the last half of the video was dope. So stay tuned. We're learning, everything, and a lot of people were saying, people were telling me on the live and that I'm referring to me as the new K Slay, and my podcast is like one of the hottest ones going on in the Bronx right now, which was a huge compliment. I really appreciated that. And that was from Elliot, Tulit, and Chino. Go check out their barbershop on the corner, on Watson. I forget the corner street they're talking about, but they're off of Watson. Check it out. Both of them do cut hair, and they also do music, so they're dope. So here we go. Here's
Bob told us that they were going to test the alien.
here's hit the road crack. Actually, we're doing.
Hit the road crack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road crack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Hit the road crack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road crack, and don't you come back no more.
The legend. Damn, it feels good to have people up on it. Used to help you on stage, and now you don't want it. Got booed at the stadium. Yankee fans hated him.
Hey, yeah. Let me ask you a question. How was that Fat Joe performance last year? Worse.
Capping in them interviews. Watch me have my way with them. Take them to the slaughterhouse. Turn them to a porterhouse. They asking for receipts. Now they mad that I bought them out. People in the streets know exactly what I'm talking about. Told on the homie, then you had them in Miami South. Went from a star to nobody famous until I came through with the raps and the cadence. Couldn't catch the bounce even if you had a spaceship. Signed with the nation, now you showing off your aim. Everything you did was either corny or basic. I gave you more lines than the side of some eggs. With me on the track, it was off to the races. Yep, I said it, off with the races.
Hit the road crack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road crack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? You gotta go, Joe. You gotta go, Joe. Go back your back, grab your back and hit the road, Joe. You shut your own toe up by trying to show ball, knowing that your stove was flowing. You just don't let it fly like a level 5 hurricane that came and terrorized. And send that Uncle John to cruise in vanilla sky for telling lies and trying to sell us the devil's pie. That's why this time the revolution is televised. Open your eyes up, organize and get wise up and rise up together instead of letting them divide us with lies and bribes and try to hide. He's a shyster, a colonizer that ain't apologize to Liza and Bun's kid for doing what he done did, for struggling for the block in the voice of his son Chris. He's unfit to run with the gift like Clinton did. Not even one bit, he doesn't write his own hits. My tongue spits that written shit that turn pigs to bacon bits. He fronts big, but this punk's bitch been faking it. Ain't no debating it. Jamaicans have been shaking it. Latinos out of breaking it, but blacks are creating it. Yeah, we celebrating it. That's how we're stating it. That's why your haters keep hating it. I do this shit for hip hop, hip hop, hip hop, hip hop. You gotta go, Joe. You gotta go, Joe. Go back your back, grab your back and hit the road, Joe. You shut your own toe up by trying to show ball, knowing that your stove was flowing. Most don't slow. Hit the road, crack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, crack, and don't you come back no more. What you say?
All right. I was at the road crack, and my normal listeners heard that song many times. I have to play the music that's on my platform. We've got a lot more coming. We just we've got a lot of music done. We just got to get the visuals for it, and that's coming, by the summertime. I'm hoping it's looking real good. And like I said, 2 weeks from now, we'll have Cuban Link on doing a podcast with me. I don't know what we're gonna call it, Jboss and the Cuban Link show, or the Cuban Link and the Jboss show, whatever works. Touched a little on life earlier, a little bit about music, the news, the war. Touched about my marriage, and I just want anybody that's listening. I'm not ever gonna say I might have started out negative, but I don't blame my situation 100% on my wife, even though it was decisions that she made that, and I know she comes from a place that it's not easy in her brain. So, meaning, what I mean is I don't mean anything malice by that, but she's been through a lot in her life, and I'm devastated over it. But this platform keeps me going, and if a certain person's listening, all you have to do, you know, nobody's gonna say nothing. You know what I mean? Because that's not my game. But a phone call would be nice. Discuss this so we could move on from this and continue our lives, without headaches. But that would be the easy way and a good way to do things. Put all of this behind us. I mean, it's hard for me to do that, but I can do it. But anyway, I just want to tell everybody thank you for always sticking by my side. There isn't a lot of people on here right now. The haters, the make us better creators, the love that we're shown by our followers and fans, especially the loyal top fans. They're on every single day. Shout outs to them. Shout outs to anybody on here. Go back and watch our podcast from earlier tonight. They're dope. Don't mind the sound checks that we did in the beginning of the, using my camera. That was you see me getting a little upset on that because it was embarrassing, but we got it figured out, and about a third of the way into the video, it started sounding the way it was supposed to sound. So check that out. Thanks to Elliot Tulit, and Chino. He was on that program, but Elliot Tulit was the guy I was interviewing from the BX Soundview, and Chino, also from Soundview. They're barbers, but also, they're artists all in general. They said they do all sorts of art, but music right now, and cutting hair over in the corner, Watson. I forget what the other street corner was. I'm familiar with the area, but I don't remember the street they said. So I want to tell everybody, check out all our stuff. If you haven't listened to our music before, check out some of our older podcasts, the ones that you could tell we use a camera on, and steel frame interview. The first one we did with Cuban Link on our, he's on our platform, but he was in the interview. You can check out the ones that we had the big numbers on. We got like a couple with 100,000 or better views on it. Especially the one with Cuban in it. That was, I think, only 40 something thousand. But one we did with interviewing Decon about his dad, who was part of our team, also part of the Jboss family. Decon Deneen, his dad's at Mercury from the Force MDs. Check out that interview, or even the highlight. Check out the interview I had with Steel Frame. That's over 100,000. Dope artist. He's local here. He's out of Utica. He's worked with Ron Browse, Jim Jones. Shout outs to Jim Jones and Ron Browse. I look at Ron Browse as one of the hook masters. He raps, and then he comes up with the dope beats. So hoping to get him on our platform. It's not looking good though. I keep trying to get a hold of him. Haven't heard back from him. So maybe in the future. But it was dope tonight, when I was told that my platform is the biggest one out there in the Bronx right now with playing people's music. We got a rapper from Texas, Major Talk, that I got introduced from CG, and then I also got Fifth Ave J, I got Elliot Too Lit, Tony Montana. I didn't get to listen to any of his music, but he had a dope song. He freestyled a little bit. Who else did we get through? Then we got CG also. But plan to hear more every day. We're gonna come up with some new content. Sometimes it's, hope we're trying not to do it bootleg anymore, but we're learning the cameras, and that I noticed with the mic and the camera it came out so much more doper. Had to wear the headphones, though. I hate the headphones. Well, I wear the headphones. I guess we're just gonna have to wear the headphones. Because if we listen to the volume, with having the mics that we have, it picks up the background noise and it makes it echo. So we had to get the headphones on, and but it worked. And mad love to everybody. I hope to see you later. After church, we got to go to church. My company is called Jboss Ent under the Romans 12:19 project. So if you don't know that verse, it's dearly beloved, venge not, vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Dope. And I got it right on my arm. Dope. So, thank you for staying with me tonight. Whoever stayed on. Doesn't look like many, but we did have quite a few at different times. Appreciate you coming on. Like I said, thank you to the fans. Thank you for the followers and the haters, because that makes us better creators. I laugh at most of the stuff you did. Call me a fake ass gangster. That's okay. You can just look. You can look me up. Ain't nothing fake about me. But that's okay. I don't want to be a gangster. So if that's what you think I'm trying to portray, it's not. I'm trying to portray and give a channel for people not to be a gangster, not do knucklehead things. And that's what this place is for. And if you notice, I'm putting a lot of people on this platform, and I got a big platform. We had, every music video we did went viral. So check that out. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 music videos right now, and then we're gonna put out probably 7 more. So stay tuned, guys. Love y'all. I'm gonna give you a double salute. I hope I will go to church tomorrow. If not, pray, because our country needs it right now. I think we all need it. And if you got having a bad relationship right now, and if that person's being abusive to you, pray. And I can tell you to leave, but get some help. Look for the warning signs. Watch my other podcasts. It's not easy to get through, and trust me, I'm one living it. And I'm a G in the street, so it's like there ain't no bitch about me. But when it came to her, trust me, her sister calls me the biggest pussy in the world when it comes to her. So that comes from 2 years of being manipulated. And I'm not trying to say it meanly, like I said. I don't even think she realized what she's doing. But all right, love y'all. Jboss is out.